Between 18 and 26, that's when most people lose everything. Not money, not jobs, themselves. They lose who they are trying to please the world, trying to fit in, trying to look like they've figured it out. But the truth, nobody has it figured out. And the moment you realize that, you take your power back. Between the ages of 18 and 26, life hits you like a storm you never saw coming. One moment you're dreaming big, ready to conquer the world, and the next you're drowning in expectations, confusion and self-doubt. You were told this was the age to figure it all out, to have a plan, to look successful, to be someone others admire. But nobody told you that this is also the age you might lose yourself. You start chasing things you don't even want, trying to prove something you can't define. You smile when you're exhausted. You say you're fine when you're falling apart. You wear masks because everyone else seems to be wearing them too. And slowly, quietly, you lose your clarity. You stop hearing your own voice beneath the noise of 1,000 opinions. You see, we grow up believing control means having it all together. Every detail planned, every decision perfectly timed. But that's an illusion. Control isn't about having everything in your hands. It's about not falling apart when everything slips through your fingers. It's about staying grounded when your plans crumble. The truth is, life doesn't follow a script. It doesn't care how detailed your vision board is or how hard you try to keep things on track. Life happens. People leave. Opportunities disappear. Plans collapse. And in those moments you realize that control isn't what you thought it was. It's not about predicting the storm. It's about learning how to stand tall in the middle of it. That's when real strength begins. When you lose everything you thought defined you, you meet the person you truly are. It's uncomfortable, it's terrifying, but it's real. There's something powerful about hitting rock bottom, because from there's only one direction left to go. Up. When you have nothing left to prove, you begin to understand what matters. You stop pretending, you stop chasing approval. You stop building your worth around things that can be taken from you. You start living from a place of truth instead of fear. Losing everything is not your downfall. It's your breakthrough. It's life's brutal but necessary way of clearing the clutter, so you can see what's actually meant for you. And that clarity, it's priceless. But we're taught to resist loss. We're told that success is linear, that if we just work hard enough, we can skip the pain, skip the uncertainty, skip the struggle. That's a lie. You can't outrun the lessons you need to learn. You can't bypass the heartbreak that shapes you. You can't control the chaos that transforms you. The most powerful people you'll ever meet didn't get there by avoiding loss. They got there by walking through it, fully, courageously, without pretending it didn't hurt. Because when you lose everything, you gain perspective. You start to see the difference between what was real and what was temporary. You begin to realize that losing the wrong things makes space for the right ones. The illusion of control keeps us small. It convinces us that if we can just manage every outcome, we'll be safe. But safety isn't where growth lives. Growth lives in the unknown. It lives in the space between what you planned and what actually happens. And in that space, you find resilience. You find creativity. You find faith. You discover that the universe isn't against you. It's working through you. Every delay, every rejection, every heartbreak, it's refining you, sculpting you into the person you were meant to become. So stop fighting to control everything. Stop clinging to plans that no longer fit the person you're becoming. The tighter you hold on, the harder life will have to shake you to let go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making peace with the fact that not everything is meant to stay. It means trusting that what's meant for you will find you, even if it doesn't look the way you imagined. It means believing that losing control isn't a failure, it's a transition. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. You just need to stay true to who you are, even when everything around you changes. Because control is not about certainty, it's about alignment. When your mind, your heart, and your actions move in the same direction, that's power, that's confidence, that's real control. You are not lost just because life doesn't look the way you planned. You are evolving. Every uncertainty, every loss, every detour, it's shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, more capable of handling what's coming. So if you're standing in the middle of chaos right now, breathe. You haven't failed. You haven't fallen behind. You're right where you're supposed to be. Learning how to stop forcing life to go your way and instead learning how to flow with it. This chapter of losing control isn't your end. It's the beginning of your becoming, because the moment you stop trying to control everything around you and start mastering what's within you, that's when life finally stops being a battle and starts becoming a creation. Comparison is the quiet killer of confidence. It sneaks into your mind when you're scrolling through your phone, when you see someone your age driving a car you can't afford, posting about a job you don't have, or smiling next to someone who seems to love them better than anyone has ever loved you. You look at their life, their success, their achievements, and without even realizing it, you start to question your own. You tell yourself you're behind. You convince yourself that you should have done more, become more, achieved more. And that's how it begins. The slow, silent unraveling of your self-worth. You start chasing validation instead of vision. You stop being grateful for your own progress because you're too busy measuring it against someone else's highlight reel. But here's the truth that most people forget. No one posts their failures, their heartbreaks, their breakdowns. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's filtered reality, and that's a battle you'll never win. Everyone's journey unfolds at its own pace. Some people bloom early, others bloom late. And that's okay. Success is not a race, it's a rhythm, and everyone dances to their own beat. You might still be figuring things out while someone else seems to have it all together, but that doesn't make you less capable or less deserving. It just means your timeline is different. And you need to stop apologizing for that. Life is not about keeping up, it's about showing up. It's about waking up every day and doing the small, quiet work that no one claps for. The kind that builds a foundation for something real. Some of the greatest stories are written in silence, while the world is busy watching something else. Don't let comparison rush your process or rob you of your peace. You're not late, you're just on your own clock, and it's ticking perfectly on time. The danger of comparison is that it distracts you from your purpose. When you spend your energy trying to match someone else's pace, you lose sight of where you're meant to go. You begin to imitate instead of innovate. You start chasing achievements that don't even align with your soul just because you want to feel like you're catching up. But fulfillment doesn't come from imitation. It comes from authenticity. Your purpose isn't a copy-paste version of someone else's dream. It's something only you can create, something that only your voice, your story, your scars can bring to life. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs the real, unapologetic version of you. The one who is still learning, still growing, still trying. You might end OTB where you want to be yet, but you're becoming someone you're proud of. And that's a victory worth celebrating. Sometimes we compare because we don't trust our own journey. We doubt our choices, our timing, our progress. We think that if someone else got there faster, they must be doing it right. But life is not that simple. Everyone carries unseen battles. The person you envy might be struggling behind the scenes in ways you can't imagine. The person you look up to might trade all their success just to feel peace again. What you see on the outside is really the full story. So stop assuming that faster means better or louder means happier. Trust your pace. Trust your lessons. Trust the moments that are teaching you patience, discipline, and resilience. You are learning things right now that will make your success not just possible, but sustainable. That's something a shortcut will never give you. There's power in patience. The ones who take their time are often the ones who last the longest. Because when you're not rushing, you're paying attention. You're building your craft, your character, your confidence. You're learning who you are outside of the applause. And that's what gives your journey substance. The world will always try to convince you that speed equals success. That you need to have it all figured out by 25. that you should be somewhere better by now. But that's not truth. That's pressure. Real success isn't about how fast you reach the finish line. It's about who you become along the way. And if it takes a little longer for you, it's because your foundation is being built to last. Some stories just need more time. So the next time you catch yourself comparing your life to someone else's, pause. Look at how far you've come. Remember the battles you fought quietly, the nights you didn't give up, the strength it took to keep going. You are not behind, you are becoming. You are exactly where you need to be for what's coming next. Every delay, every detour, every season of waiting is shaping you into the person capable of holding the life you're asking for. There is no finish line to rush toward. There is only growth. So breathe, stay focused, keep showing up for your own path. Because when you stop competing and start trusting, you'll realize you were never in a race at all. You were on a journey that was yours alone from the very beginning. Because when you stop comparing and start believing in your own timing, life stops feeling like a competition and starts feeling like freedom. Your energy is your currency, and every single day you're spending it. The question is, on what? On who? We live in a world that glorifies being busy. Everyone wants your attention, your time, your validation. People will pull you in 1,000 directions, and if you're not careful, you'll give pieces of yourself away until there's nothing left. You'll find yourself exhausted, anxious, overstimulated, running on empty because you've been pouring into everyone but yourself. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's survival, it's self-respect. Because when you don't guard your peace, you give others permission to control your emotions, your mood, your mindset. You start reacting to everything around you instead of creating from within. You become a mirror of chaos instead of the author of calm. Protecting your energy is not about building walls, it's about building boundaries. And boundaries are not rejection, they're protection. There comes a point in your 20s when you realize not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone gets a seat at your table just because they showed up. Some people will drain you, no matter how much love you give. Some will only come around when they need something. Others will disguise jealousy as advice or negativity as honesty. You have to learn to read energy, not just words. You have to listen to what people don't say as much as what they do. Energy doesn't lie. Protecting your space means being discerning about who you allow to influence your spirit. It's choosing quality over quantity. It's recognizing that peace is more valuable than popularity. When you stop trying to please everyone, you'll notice how much lighter life feels. The weight you've been carrying, most of it isn't even yours. Protecting your energy also means protecting your time. Time is the one resource you'll never get back, and yet it's the one we waste the most. Every yes you say to something meaningless is a no to something that could have mattered. You have to get comfortable disappointing others so you can stop disappointing yourself. Say no to distractions. Say no to drama. Say no to people who want your energy but not your growth. Learn the power of selective presence. Not every battle deserves your participation. Not every invitation deserves your attendance. Not every opportunity deserves your attention. Maturity is learning when to engage and when to let go. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to prove your peace to anyone. The energy you save by walking away will become the power you need to rise higher. Sometimes the hardest part of protecting your energy is realizing how much of it you waste on your own thoughts. The mind can be your biggest thief. You replay conversations, overthink mistakes, predict outcomes that never happen, and by the time you're done, you're mentally drained without having moved an inch. Protecting your energy means managing your internal world just as fiercely as your external one. It means catching the moment your thoughts turn toxic and choosing to redirect them. It means replacing self-doubt with self-compassion, replacing overthinking with action, and replacing fear with faith. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who control others, they're the ones who control their own energy. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to stay grounded, calm, and intentional. That's where your strength lives. Protecting your energy doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means aligning with what fuels you. It's learning what fills your soul and doing more of that. Spend time with people who make you feel alive, not drained. Pour into passions that bring you joy, not stress. Make time for silence, nature, laughter, and creativity. These are not luxuries, they are necessities. They refill your energy so you can show up as your best self. The right people will respect your boundaries, the wrong ones will test them. That's how you'll know who's meant to stay. Protecting your energy is the ultimate form of self-love because it says, I value my peace more than your approval. And once you start living that way, you'll never go back. And here's the truth that changes everything. Energy attracts energy. What you give out is what you draw in. When you radiate peace, you attract people and opportunities that match that frequency. When you operate from chaos, you attract more chaos. The moment you decide to protect your energy, your entire life starts to shift. People who once drained you will fall away naturally. Situations that no longer align with you will dissolve. You won't have to chase peace anymore. It will find you because you've become it. Protecting your energy is not just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about creating a life that feels like peace, not one you need to escape from. Because when you finally learn to protect your energy, you stop living in reaction to the world and start creating a world that reacts to you. Growth has a strange way of making you feel both powerful and lonely at the same time. The truth is, the moment you start evolving, you'll begin to notice that not everyone around you will understand it. The friends you once shared everything with might start to feel distant. The places that used to excite you might feel too small. The conversati, ons that once entertained you might now exhaust you. And it's not because you've become arrogant or cold. It's because you're changing. Growth changes your frequency, and not everyone is meant to tune into the new version of you. Sometimes you'll have to walk alone for a while, not because you don't love the people you used to walk with, but because your path is shifting. You're no longer chasing the same things. You're no longer fueled by the same desires. You're becoming someone new, and that transformation requires space. Outgrowing people isn't betrayal, it's evolution. You're not leaving them behind, you're moving forward. And not everyone is meant to go with you. It's painful, yes, but it's necessary. You can't stay small just to keep others comfortable. The truth is, some people loved the version of you that didn't know their worth. They loved you when you were easy to manipulate, easy to impress, easy to please. But growth demands that you stop shrinking to fit into spaces you've already outgrown. It asks you to say goodbye to familiar comfort so you can say hello to your higher self. That's not cruelty, it's courage. It takes bravery to walk away from what no longer fits, to release what no longer aligns, and to trust that something greater is waiting beyond the unknown. You are not supposed to stay where you started. And it's not just people. You'll outgrow places too. The city you once dreamed of might no longer inspire you. The environment that once fueled your hustle might now drain your spirit. Sometimes, the energy that once motivated you becomes the very thing that limits you. When that happens, it's the universe whispering, it's time to expand. Growth will always pull you toward discomfort, toward change, toward new spaces that challenge you. You might find yourself craving solitude, craving peace over excitement, craving stillness over noise. That's not you losing your spark, it's you refining it. When your soul starts calling for more, listen. Don't fight the urge to move just because staying feels safe. Growth doesn't happen in comfort, it happens in courage. And then comes the hardest part. You'll outgrow versions of yourself. The person you were last year, last month, even yesterday, won't always align with who you're becoming. You'll have to let go of the old beliefs that kept you small, the habits that no longer serve you, and the identities you created just to survive. That's what evolution looks like. Death and rebirth, again and again. You'll shed the layers that no longer fit, even when they once defined you. It's okay to mourn the old you. She was strong enough to get you here. But don't let nostalgia keep you from becoming who you're meant to be. Growth is not about destroying the past. It's about honoring it and then choosing to move forward anyway. You'll know you're growing when peace becomes more important than attention.